Hello, everyone, and welcome along. It's Tuesday afternoon. It's Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. It's the #1 tennis betting podcast brought to you in association with Bet Rivers, your hometown sportsbook. I'm Nigel Seeley, coming to you live from Turin, where the ATP Tour Championships are being held. And I'd like to say, joining me to look ahead to tomorrow's action on Wednesday, it's our senior ATP Tour handicapper, Sean Calvert. Now, Sean, I've criticised you for... Yeah, good afternoon. I've criticised you sometimes for some of your establishments that you've been to compared to some of my more luxurious ones.
Yeah,
I feel like they've got the wrong remit here. I'm sure they must have the wrong place. I'm sure I must have a.
Is that a Calvert booking you've got there? Is it under the name of S Calvert or something you've got there?
They must have got the wrong. They must have said game better match are coming and just assumed that you were coming in because there's something wrong. There's something not right about this place. What's going on?
You booked it. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. I've never been to Turin. I've never been to the venue or anything. So you know a lot more about it than I do. So, are you near the venue or are you sort of in the city or what?
I'm not far from the venue at all, but all I can hear is loads of children playing out at the playground, which is great, fantastic, nice, but it's rather loud. It's in a courtyard here. The thing is here is the city isn't. I wouldn't say it was right up there in my top destinations on the ATP Tour this year I've been to. I'm more of a Dubai man, beach man, that kind of stuff. When I come here, you went down to some little side street. I thought, hang on a minute, I don't like the look of this place. And I said to the woman, is it safe out there? She said, yeah, it'll be fine. She said, you won't get mugged, but you will get asked if you want to buy some drugs on the corner of the street. Now, you know,
sounds okay. I mean, it depends what they're selling, I suppose. But it doesn't sound like the kind of place you normally go to. Yeah, it sounds like the sort of place that I would normally end up in, but the shoe is on the other foot, I suppose, as they say this week.
Well, hopefully my shoes stay on my feet as I'm in this town because they're quite expensive shoes. I don't want to take people taking them off me, but but really, joking aside, actually inside the little apartment, it's not so bad. It's a nice little Airbnb. It's not so bad. The tennis action is pretty good. We said we spoke when we previewed the tournament. We gave a tip of Yannick Sinner. He got off to a winning start against Tsitsipas. The big match last night was obviously Zverev. His match against Carlos Alcaraz. It's been unfortunate for us. We went for Zverev to win the opening set, but he didn't win the opening set, but he won the match. We were sort of quite concerned about Alcaraz. Before we go on to tomorrow's action, what do you think of what you've seen so far? And obviously today, I mean, gone to the road, just down the road, watching the tennis today. 3 games in, Stefanos Tsitsipas pulls out injured with a bad back.
To the surprise of nobody, really. No. I mean, the odds on Rune probably told you that, but I think it was the worst kept secret of the week, wasn't it? Yeah. Tsitsipas a couple of days ago he said, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." Today he said, "Oh, for the last few days I've been under the doctor." Now, you know, it's not a great situation for Tsitsipas, is it? It's making him look bad. You know, if he knew he was injured, he should have just pulled out and let maybe Hurkacz play. But it's a lose-lose for Tsitsipas, this, isn't it? If he plays and pulls out, he got booed, didn't he? The crowd were booing him off. Everyone's going to say you just turned up for the money, you know. So that's his one option. The other option was pull out before and then obviously not get the cash for playing. It's all getting a bit grubby now, isn't it? And they put Hurkacz against Fritz on, and Fritz was arguably more injured than Tsitsipas. It was, I don't know whether you saw that, but they played this ridiculous one set of exhibition tennis, which Fritz was about 40% fit. And the crowd were booing that as well. And Hurkacz was trying to make it interesting by playing some mad shots, but it was, oh god, it was grim afternoon's viewing. But as far as the actual tennis is concerned, it still looks pretty quick. It doesn't look to me quite as quick as last year. It still looks fastish, quicker than you would get in most indoor tournaments. After the first 4 matches, 84% holds, 76% first serve points won, only 4 matches, so it's a very small sample size. That compares with 87% holds last year and 76.8% first serve points won in the last 2 years at altitude. So I think somebody said the CPI was 42 this year and 43 last year. So the conditions are perhaps not quite as quick as last year, but still pretty quick.
Did you see the comments from Carlos Alcaraz after his defeat? So it's the quickest surface this year. He said, why do they do it? Why are they playing this quick surface? So really, he's had it all his way this season. So like, let's give someone else a chance really to make it a little bit speed. You said on the podcast before, the quicker it is, you like it. So you quite like the idea, and obviously it gives the more chances of an upset win. But did you see the quotes that Alcaraz said?
I said that he saw it was quicker than anything else he's played on in this season. He didn't know why they did it. That's all I saw him say. You know, we knew he was going to struggle anyway, based on what we'd seen in the previous weeks coming up to this and the injuries that he's had. But yeah, it was a tough one for Alcaraz. It's just not an ideal situation for him. And we went for Zverev, didn't we? And we were unlucky. He was 3-1 up in the first set. Should have won all 3 sets, really. But he ended up winning the 2 that we didn't have him on, which is unfortunate. But difficult situation for Alcaraz, and we'll talk about him more in a minute.
Yeah, we did have a lean towards Zverev on the match, and we also gave a lean on Zverev on the handicap. So hopefully you would have seen the notion that we were going to go opposing the fade was for Alcaraz. And
the right idea, wasn't it?
Yeah, if you didn't take the advice that we said on the first set, hopefully you would have capitalised and sort of cashed some tickets on the other markets as well.
We got the other one as well, didn't we? We got Djokovic as well. We got that over. That was easy, over 22.5 against Rune. That was
every single match gone over. You know, Djokovic just hasn't won a straight sets match against Holger Rune. I mean, that was you know, we spoke about not being some classic matches at the Tour Finals. That was a good match. That was a very, very entertaining match. And Djokovic just did it again. His mental strength got him through. Obviously, his talent got him through, but his mental strength just gets on. And people say on this podcast, in the comments, if you looked at the preview show on the first set of matches to show, that we're anti-Djokovic. We're not anti-Djokovic at all here. I don't know about Djokovic's biggest fan. I think the guy's an absolute sensation. I tweeted out, you know, words can't describe what he does. But we are about value. And, you know, I think even in that performance, I think that's going to take a lot out of him in the tournament. You've got to play so quickly. We're recording this before the Jannik Sinner match tonight, which is a big, big match. The winner should progress through to the semi-finals, you would think.
He's drifted in the betting as well, hasn't he? His price is getting bigger, Djokovic, for that match. Maybe because he's secured the world #1 ranking. Maybe people are thinking, well, that's him done for the year.
But there was a concern. There was a concern with Djokovic coming into this tournament, you know, in Paris, that he had a stomach problem. He has, you know, he defied logic by winning that tournament. He defied logic again against Rune. And surely that must, you know, if it was any other player, we'd be saying surely that will run out. And that's what we're saying here. We're not saying that Novak Djokovic isn't a great player. We're not saying that we're anti-Djokovic. We're saying the prices we can't bet him. But at the moment, if the line gets too big, Djokovic may become a bet against Sinner. But I'd actually rather be on Sinner. But at the current line for this match later on today, I couldn't take it. It'd be a no bet match for me. But Djokovic, obviously the tournament favourite to win this. We've still got that big, big match against Sinner. But let's move that past that to one side and move on to this evening and tomorrow's action. And I'll be in the arena tomorrow. Now, I've travelled all the way across here. I've got no laptop. My laptop, wherever I go, my laptop doesn't work. I always use my mobile phone. My mobile phone is actually better than my laptop. I get a better reception.
You need a new laptop?
No, I've got an Apple Mac. It's a very good laptop, but I always get a better reception on my phone, and I always get a better reception on my selfie stick than I do on my laptop. But anyway, I didn't bring my laptop, and I didn't bring a pen, and there's no pen in it. So I've got no odds shown in front of me. I know the graphic will be created a little bit later by John, our graphic man. He's probably half asleep at the moment, but he'll be up a little bit later on to do the graphic. But I've got a rough idea what the line might be. I know the first match will be around about 6 a.m. Eastern time. It's going to be between Rublev and it's going to be between Alcaraz. Now, could we really trust Alcaraz? Could we bet Alcaraz at the price? I'm guessing he's probably around about -155, probably about plus 150, maybe something like that, plus 160, something like that.
So in decimal, do you want me to tell you what he is?
Yeah.
Alcaraz to beat Rublev is 1.54 in decimal.
So he's around about
-2.5.
He's around about -185 to win this match, and the price you can get. Start again. What price is he? Sorry,
1.54. Rublev's 2.5, 6 to 4.
Yeah, so he's about -185 to win. Check the Bet Rivers website because my conversion might be a little bit out, but around about -185, and Rublev is about +175.
He's 2.5. 6 to 4.
Yeah, about plus 150. So they're the current lines there. The head-to-head, I do know the head-to-head, so I can remember that. The head-to-head is 1-0 to Alcaraz. He won very, very easily the last time they met. I think it was last year. Very, very easily.
Didn't Rublev win that one? Sorry to butt in there.
Listen, I apologise. My research here.
I'll check. I think Rublev won it. But,
I knew it. I check in the head-to-head before I come on, and I've got it all completely and utterly wrong. So I apologise for that. So Rublev leads the head-to-head, does he?
I've got it. Rublev 6-2, 6-1. Yeah, whether that's correct or not.
When was that? Was it last year?
That was in an exhibition, the Mubadala thing that they played out in Abu Dhabi.
Forget about it. So they've never played really on the May Tour. But the thing is, Alcaraz is a heavy favourite. Rublev didn't play very well against Medvedev, his countryman, a player he always gets beaten by, in the records they play. But can we trust Alcaraz? What you saw from Alcaraz, clearly he's got an injury. Clearly he hasn't been the same since Wimbledon. And would you trust him at those low prices against Rublev after the match he played against Zverev? I'm not so sure,
No, I definitely wouldn't. There's no ifs or buts for me. I certainly wouldn't trust him at 1.54. He's just not the same player, is he? If we look what he's done in his last 10 matches, Alcaraz, 50% win rate, and a service points won, return points won, total of 104, and a hold break total of 103. This is all right numbers, but they're sort of Tsitsipas-y kind of numbers, if you want to say that. They're not Alcaraz numbers. Rublev, last 10 matches, 60% win rate, service points won, return points won, total of 102, and his hold break total is 108. So comparable, if not better, in the last 10 matches, Andrey Rublev. As I said, Rublev beat him easily in the Mubadala exhibition last December. I don't think he'd be too far away again here. I watched the Rublev match. Medvedev was great, wasn't he? He was really, really good.
Gone under the radar in this tournament, Medvedev. Gone under the radar here.
He has a little bit. I mean, he's certainly got the easier of the two groups, or maybe not now that Tsitsipas pulled out. But the first set was a really high quality affair between Rublev and Medvedev. Rublev just did what he always does, what I said he shouldn't be doing or needs to not do it, which is sort of stick on the baseline. I did see a notion of his to come forward. He did come forward a few times, Rublev, against Medvedev, which I said he had to do. He didn't do it often enough, and B, when he did do it, he doesn't like volleying, does he? He plays the drive volley, which is such a hard shot to play. He doesn't seem able or willing to play a sort of regulation volley. He comes to the net with the sole intention of playing a drive volley, and sometimes he gets it right, sometimes he gets it wrong. I think one occasion he got broken, he got it very badly wrong. So I think he sort of started to do the right thing, but he needed to do it much more often. He's got to learn to volley properly. You can't be doing this drive volley business. It's obviously something he doesn't want to do, Rublev. But he has to if he's going to beat Medvedev, and he just hasn't done it so far. I should imagine if I was Carlos Alcaraz, I'd be looking here to bring Rublev into the net as often as I can with drop shots. But I don't think it's going to be that easy to do, A, in these quick conditions, and B, I don't think Alcaraz is playing well enough to play these touch shots, the finesse shots. I don't think he's in the sort of form to bring them off on a regular basis, to be completely honest. 1.54 at Alcaraz, no, definitely not. I suspect you'll get bigger than that in play. I mean, if I was having a bet on this match, it's a tricky one, but I do quite like the over 2.5 sets here. That was a 2.35 chance with Bet Rivers when I looked at it earlier. I'll check out the current odds in a minute, but I feel like this is one that could go the full distance. Alcaraz is not going to want to go out this season on a whimper. Rublev, I feel he was playing well enough and has been playing well enough recently to make this a good match. So I think it's going to go over. I'll just check the odds, but that was what I was looking at. Hang on a second.
So that's plus
42 markets here.
Yeah, 42 different markets available, and 42 different markets available on all the action with Bet Rivers. Plus 135 is the line.
2.38, just slightly bigger actually. 2.3 plus 138.
Plus 138 over 2.5 sets. What's the total game? 22.5 total.
Yeah, 22.5.
Would that be tempting you over? I'm guessing over is minus money.
Over is 1.85. Yeah.
Yeah, so minus 120.
Possibly, you know me. I like to take the bigger price if I can, and I just feel like this is one where it's going to be one decent, because Alcaraz is not playing with any consistency at all. I mean, he's playing some good stuff and some bad stuff. Feels to me like he'll play a good set and then a not so good set, and he just has that sort of feel about it to me.
Just one question on Alcaraz before we leave that game alone. The fact that he can't be number one in the world, that Djokovic has secured that number one rating, does that take a little bit of incentive away from him in this match?
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. Only he would know, obviously. But yes, I think he did say that it was one of his goals for the rest of the season after sort of Wimbledon, US Open. He did say that he was going to go all out and try and get the number one. So yeah, there might be a little bit of a letdown from him there. That would play into Rublev's hands, and it would be another reason to not take that short price on Alcaraz for me.
I do agree with Sean. You will get a better price on Alcaraz, probably even before the two of them start the match tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern time. Around that time, check the Bet Rivers website for all the play. It's the afternoon game if you're across in Europe, the afternoon match. And it's the match that I'll be at. So you can follow me tomorrow. I'll be at the tournament. I'll be giving you some updates from the court. Hopefully, you can find out some injury news about Alcaraz And I'll be updating on our Instagram account at Because We Win on Instagram. Check that out for the adventures of myself here in Turin. It could be quite an adventurous night tonight, walking around the town here in some of these areas here tonight. So I'll be posting some stuff wherever I go out this evening. Let's move on to the evening match tomorrow. And it's another one. It's the group is set up very, very nicely where both of these two players come in with a win apiece, and the winner will progress through to the semi-finals. And it's Daniil Medvedev, as we said, he's in great form, up against Alexander Zverev, who beat Alcaraz in the first match of the group. Very impressed with Zverev. I was served beautifully, some great serving stats. The conditions will really suit the German here. Both of these players have done well here at this tournament and at this venue. I looked at the head-to-head. I'll get this right. I think it's 11-7 to Medvedev. 18 times they've met. He's won a lot of the most recent ones, but Zverev did win a couple of times ago. But Zverev seems to have won early in the career. Medvedev certainly got his number as the two of them have progressed. Again, Sean, I haven't got the line in front of me. What are the odds? What's the spread? And what are the total games?
Okay, so Medvedev's a 1.45 favourite.
Yep.
Zverev, 2.8. By the look of this, I need to put my glasses on.
Minus 225 for Medvedev, plus 188 for Zverev.
I'm just going to make this font bigger.
What's the handicap? About 2.5 on spread?
Let me get down to the game handicap. 2.5 games. Medvedev minus 2.5 games is a 1.75 favourite.
It's a heavy favour, plus money you can get for Zverev plus 2.5. And the total, I'm guessing probably again 22.5 again?
Yeah, 22.5. Slight favourite overs 1.88. Unders is 1.92.
You would have seen the way that Zverev served in that match against Alcaraz. He served himself out of trouble a couple of times. It really was. And the conditions are very fast, as the people have said, the players have said. Sean has given you the stats. They're pretty much on the level of last year. Zverev has his problems off the court, as we mentioned the other day, but you said he'll be focused on his tennis performances rather than anything else. And despite Alcaraz not being at his best, he held his nerve. He had breakpoint opportunities when he was serving for the match. He'd come through him and he served really, really well. I think he was way up in the high 80s on his first serve percentage. Great serving performance from Zverev. And I think with that serve, he's going to cause Medvedev problems here in these quick conditions. And, I always like to get with the server getting the start on the handicap. And that would be my sort of angle here at 2.5. Where are you coming from this one, Sean?
Well, they're both banging the ball down in these conditions, aren't they? As I said, Medvedev was great against Rublev, arguably the performance of the season, or certainly I'd say one of his top 5 performances of the season. But it is a matchup that he likes. It's a comfortable matchup for him. This has also been comfortable. He's won 10 of the last 12, Medvedev, against Zverev. I think the low bouncing courts, the quick low bouncing courts will certainly suit Medvedev very well. Zverev, it's a strange one with Zverev because he often complains about surfaces not bouncing much. He tends to prefer a higher bounce normally, but he has won the title here, so it can't be a problem for him. If you look at their head-to-head in the last 10 matches that they've played against each other, Medvedev service points won, return points won, total 105 to Zverev's 95. Medvedev's won 5% more points on serve, 5% more on return. But strangely, it's been a peculiar head-to-head, actually. Zverev has actually created the more breakpoint chances in the last 10 matches. But his breakpoint conversion rate has been shocking. He's only taken 18% of those breakpoint chances, has Zverev. And Medvedev has taken more than double, 37%. So he's been better on the big points. And the one thing that having watched the first set, obviously very closely, was Zverev Alcaraz yesterday. He was terrible on the big points, Zverev. He was 3-1 up in that set, serving for 4-1, put in a shocking service game, had a love 40 to get the break straight back, played 3 or 4 dreadful points. He should have won that in straight sets, Zverev. Alcaraz was, not good at all. Interestingly, on the matchup, only twice has the opening set between these two gone over 10 games in 18 career meetings on all surfaces, 16 of which were on hard court. So it's you looking at these two, the way they serve in these conditions, you would think, well, maybe tiebreak, set one overs, but not according to their head-to-head. Just twice gone over 10 games in 18. I think that's probably testament to the returning skills of Medvedev. I think he's got a pretty decent read on the Zverev serve. And set one between these two guys has finished either 6-3 or 6-4 12 times in 17 main level meetings. So if you want to Dutch the 6-3 and 6-4, I think that might be an interesting play here. The other thing to mention is that Zverev did fall over, didn't he, quite nastily in that match against Alcaraz, and he described it afterwards as he pinched his Achilles. I don't know whether that's a technical term, but it sounds like more of a sort of tweak rather than obviously it was a similar situation, wasn't it, to when he fell over in Roland Garros a few years ago. Nowhere near that as bad as that, but when he first did it, I think a lot of people thought, "Oh, not again." So we'll see how he shapes up. But if you want to take the 6-3 or 6-4 to Medvedev in set one, two pretty decent prices. Earlier when I looked, it was 6.1 and 5.75 for those two. So if you take the two, that's come in, as I said, 12 times in 17 main level meetings. That score, I've taken Medvedev to win set one because for me, he's the likely winner of this match.
Yeah, so 6-3, 6-4 for a Medvedev win. It's a scoreline that's come in many times in the head-to-head between these two. Pretty surprised when you consider how fast the conditions are here. I think this will be quite a decent watch, actually. I think this will be quite close. So I'm not going to disagree with your bet there. I like the trends, I like the thinking, but I do think the over 22.5 could potentially be the way to go. I think one of the sets might be quite tight. So 6-4. And then a 7-6 in the second set would be absolutely perfect for me. So that brings in that as well. I think this could be a decent watch, this one. So Sean, why don't you wrap it up? We've got 42 different markets available on both these matches. What is your best bet and your leans for tomorrow here in Turin?
Yeah, I'm just taking a couple of leans. For me, this is not the time of year to be going a bit gung ho with your bets when you really just it's an idea, some reasonable ideas that I've got, but they're not. I don't think they're really strong enough to say they're official plays. But the over 2.5 sets, 2.38 plus 138 bet Rivers in the match between Alcaraz and Rublev, and I think it's a good idea to Dutch the 2 set 1 scores. Medvedev to win 6-3 and Medvedev to win 6-4 at 6.1 and 5.75 bet Rivers in the second match. Medvedev Zverev.
Yeah, remember there are 4 ways to follow us here on Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. You can download the podcast, Betting Weekly Game Bet Match, on your preferred podcast provider. You subscribe to our YouTube channel, Betting Weekly Studios. Lots of subscribers there, new subscribers, so thank you very much for that. And you can also follow us and our socials on Twitter and Instagram at Because We Win. No soccer this week, but it's international week. Lots of great international soccer picks from our panel of experts. Steve Vish, our senior soccer handicapper, and Rory Barlow, our La Liga expert as well, is on there giving you some picks on the international break. And also we've got the tennis as well. I think we'll probably be able to fit one more podcast in. I don't think it'll be tomorrow because the order of play for Thursday is dreadful. Probably, hopefully, you might be able to look at the semi-finals or the final a bit later on in the week if we get a chance. Hopefully we get one more in before the week is out, whether it be here or at the departure lounge at the airport. I think there might be. I've got about 7 hours to kill there, so I might be able to do something there. But I'm sure we get one.
You'll be in the lounge, won't you?
There's no lounge here. I've already checked. My bank card. There's a lounge here, but my bank card only covers the lounge here for domestic flights. So I'm not covered. So I am really going. This is a Calvert holiday. This is a proper Calvert. The only thing I will not be doing, I will not be getting the bus. Not from here. Not this bus stop anyway.
I doubt there's a. Is there a bus? Is there even a bus stop outside local?
There's a few derelict buses. There's a few sort of ransack bunches where people have sort of robbed the driver, but other than that, no, I will not be getting a bus here. I'll be getting.
How far is it to the tennis from there, by the way?
I think it's about a 15-minute walk, but it's.
So you can walk it.
I will not be walking that. No,
Huh?
no, Sean, come on, please. You've seen my video. I'm not walking down there. I'm getting a cab. There's an Irish bar about 10 minutes. I'm going to head to that.
Oh yeah, check that out because I want to know about that.
I'm going to look to the Irish bar, and I might get security to walk me down there and security to walk me back. But you won't. I'm telling you what, I will not be out after dark. That's for sure. Here,
isn't it dark kind of now?
Yes, but it's still it's still a bit of light. People coming back from work. I mean, they're around by 9 o'clock, 9:30. Celia will be tucked up in that bed behind me. There, don't you worry about that. And I'll be at the tennis. I'll have a good day at the tennis. I'll come back, have some food, and I'll be jetting off very early. You won't be seeing me around town. Well, I say that now, famous last words. I could bump into someone, a couple of people who are at the tennis, and could all change. But that's what's happening. Sean, thank you very much. I've had no pen. I've got no pen in this place. I've got no laptop, and you've helped me out with the odds there. But
pleasure.
I think the games. I'm quite tempted by Rublev, to beat Alcaraz. I think what Alcaraz might think to himself, "Oh, my season's done. It's been a long year. Let's get
He
back.
might. He might.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he does get beat, which could be potential. I think he is carrying an injury that I think he might follow Tsitsipas out and not compete on the third rubber. I've just got quite a feeling
that's why it's so difficult to bet in this tour finals. That's why I'm not going out on a limb, because you don't know when someone's just going to go, I'm done here. It happens all the time. We've just seen it with Tsitsipas for a start off. Anything's possible.
Well, we did see last year here in Turin, we saw Rafael Nadal come over with an injury, and he played, and he got beat. I think he lost every single match, but he didn't down tools. He played, and
that's Rafa.
Alcaraz might be a little bit more like him than Tsitsipas, but Tsitsipas has got no friends in Turin. Hopefully, I have many friends in Turin tonight to get me home from the Irish bar back here to this apartment, please. Thank you very much. That's been the latest Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll be back a little bit later on this week. I'm not going to give a specific day, but we do one more if the matches prevail. Hopefully the semi-finals day. Look at the semi-finals. Look at the tournament outright, and obviously we have a tournament outright pick who's been bet, Yannick Sinner, after he won his opening match against Tsitsipas. Big match tonight against Djokovic. Hopefully he can get the job done, and he could go into a little bit shorter price, vying for favouritism. That's what we want. Take care, and we'll speak to you all very soon.